Welcome back, students. So we had been discussing about statistical reasoning in the last lecture. We had discussed that basically reasoning under uncertainty is subdivided into two categories. Many times it may happen that we have been given a knowledge base where uh, certain knowledge is absent, or the facts all facts are not present. In that case, how reasoning can take place? We cannot apply any kind of chaining or resolution because certainty is not there. So what we have to apply is reasoning under uncertainty, which is subdivided into two categories. The first one is non-monotonic reasoning and the second one is statistical reasoning. So in last lecture we had started discussing statistical reasoning. So we had discussed that how Bayes theorem works, how probability distribution can be useful. We had even discussed that how CF can be calculated and how we can have measure of belief and measure of disbelief, and using that we can calculate certainty factor. And now and lastly we had been discussing about Bayesian network. So let us discuss how Bayesian network is going to be useful for statistical reasoning. So Bayesian network is a probabilistic graphical model which represents a set of variables and their conditional dependencies under directed acyclic graph. So we are having over here random variables and their probabilities distributed into a directed acyclic graph. Also, Bayesian network can be called Bayes network, belief network, decision network, or Bayesian model. Bayesian networks are probabilistic because these networks are built from probability distribution and also use probability theory for prediction and anomaly detection. Real world applications are probabilistic in nature, and to represent the relationship between multiple events, we need Bayesian network. So there are multiple events possible, and then there is highly possible that one event is dependent on another event. And so the probability of one event is not independent, but that may be dependent on the other event. It can also be used in various tasks, including prediction, anomaly detection, diagnostic, automated insight, reasoning, time series prediction, and decision making under uncertainty. So Bayesian network can be used for building models from data and experts' opinions, and it consists of two parts: directed acyclic graph and table of conditional probabilities. The generalized form of Bayesian network that represents and solves decision problems under uncertain knowledge is known as influence diagram. So let us see an example of Bayesian network, which is a graph made up of nodes and arcs, directed arcs. So here we can say there is a node A. We can say this is a parent node because there are two outgoing edges out of A. One is going to D node and the other is going to B node. So here node D is child of node A. In other words, you can say that the probability for node D, whenever you are calculating, it depends on the parent node's probability. Similarly, the probability of B depends on the probability of A, and C is a child node of B and D both, but that is not dependent on A directly. Okay, so what we had discussed, each node corresponds to random variables, and a variable can be continuous or discrete. Arc or directed arrows represent the causal relationship or conditional probabilities between random variables. These directed links or arrows connect the pair of nodes in the graph. So as we can see in the graph, A, B, C and D, they are random variables over here. Okay, now if we consider node B, which is connected directly with node A only with the directed edge, then node A is called parent of node B. As we have just discussed, node B is the child node and node A is the parent node. Node C is independent of node A. There is no directed edge between A and C. So we can say node C is independent of node A. Okay, now let us see it with an example. This is one of the Bayesian network given where season is the parent node which has two child nodes, water spray and rain. Okay, now there is one another event, wet, okay, and slippery. So what happens over here? The season has two child node, means the probability of having rain is not independent. It depends on the probability of season. Similarly, the probability of water spray depends on the probability of season. Probability of weight is calculated with the joint probability of water spray and rain, whereas the probability of slippery that depends on the probability of weight. So that is how the probability for a child node is calculated using the probability of the parent node. So as we can see in the diagram, water spray and rain is child of season. They are dependent on season. If the floor is wet, then we can say there is rain. At least if the floor is slippery, then we can say it is wet. So we can say that the probability of a random variable in Bayesian network is dependent on his parents. So the probability of x1, x2 up to xn is the summation of probability of xi divided by parent xi, the probability of the parent node. Okay, so that is all about Bayesian network. This question has been asked many times in GTU question that explain Bayesian network in detail. So if it is asked, you have to draw the Bayesian network and also you have to show properly the diagram of the example and explain properly that how the probability of parent and child node are dependent on each other. Now we are moving to the next theory, which is also very useful for assigning statistics to the facts that will be useful for reasoning. That is called Dempster-Shafer theory. Now this particular theory is different than the earlier theories. It is different than Bayesian network. It is different than the earlier calculations of certainty factor also. So what happens in Dempster-Shafer theory? We are going to have certain belief in the hypothesis, that is event, and we are going to have disbelief also. But these belief and disbelief are different than the belief and disbelief we calculated with certainty factor. So an alternative to Bayesian network is Dempster-Shafer theory, which is designed to deal directly with the distinction between uncertainty and ignorance. Rather than computing probabilities of a propositions, it calculates probability that evidence supports the proposition. This measure of belief is called the belief function. This is written as BEL. BEL is belief function and X is the hypothesis or event for which we are calculating belief. Dempster's rule shows you how to combine such evidences, and Schaefer's work extends this into a complete computational model. To define the belief X precisely, we need to start with a full list of mutually exclusive hypotheses. This hypothesis means event is space is called the frame of discriminant denoted by theta. In a simple medical diagnosis system, we may have events like theta is equal to allergy, cold, flu, pneumonia. So they are actually exclusive to each other. They don't depend on each other. But then evidences may be related to multiple hypotheses at the same time. The goal is to attach some measure of belief to each and every event in theta. Not that the evidence will often support more than one hypothesis. Also, because the hypotheses are mutually exclusive, evidence in favor of one hypothesis may affect our belief in another. In a purely Bayesian system, we handle this by listing all the combinations of conditional probabilities. Dempster-Shafer theory attempts to avoid the need for manipulating the hypothesis events directly. Let us see how we are going to calculate belief. Each fact has the degree of support, which is between 0 and 1. 0 means no support, 1 means full support in the fact. It differs from the Bayesian approach that in Bayesian network, the summation of the belief and belief need not to be 1. Means it is not necessary that belief should add up to 1 and disbelief should add up to 0. set of possible conclusions theta, theta 1, theta 2 up to theta n. But theta is set of possible conclusion to be drawn. Each theta I is mutually exclusive. So at most one has to be true and they are mutually exhaustive also. Means at least one also has to be true. So exactly one is going to be true. Let us take example. It is going to be more clear with the example. The frame of discriminant we are considering over here is theta 1 to theta n. Bayes was concerned with evidences that supported single conclusion. So that was like probability of theta I when the evidence is present. But in Dempster-Shafer theory, we are interested in concerned with evidences which support subset of outcomes, not saying single hypothesis, but subset of hypothesis. So if I'm talking about theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, then I'm going to consider all subset of these three events also. So the power set of theta, that is frame of discriminant, will contain theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, and now the frame of discriminant, that is power set, will contain all subsets also. So it will be initially phi empty set, as it is also subset of this set. Then theta 1 alone, theta 2 alone, and theta 3 alone as a member. Then another subset is theta 1, theta 2, theta 1, theta 3, theta 2, theta 3, and the entire set is also subset. So this a union of all the subsets of this set is called power set. And the empty set is also going to be there. So each phi, the empty set has the probability 0, whereas the full set theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 has the probability 1. Each of other element in the power set has probability between 0 and 1. So we will see this with one of the example. But before understanding example, we need to understand what is mass function over here. So mass function MA, where A is the member of power set for, let us say, theta 1 or theta 2 or any other subset we can consider. So mass function applied on the member A. It is proportion of all evidences that supports these element of power set. Proportion of all evidences supporting A. The mass MA of a given member of power set A expresses the proportion of all relevant and available evidences that supports the claim that the actual state belong to A, but to no particular subset of A. The value of MA pertains only to the set of A and makes no additional claim about any subset of A. So each mass function A is between 0 and 1, and all the mass function summation is going to be 1. The mass function value for phi is going to be 0 because at least one at least one event hypothesis must be true. So mass function MA that can be calculated like, let us see the interpretation first. Interpretation of M applied to A or B is 0.3 means there is evidence for A or B that cannot be divided among more specific beliefs for A or B. Let us see it with one of the example. 4 people, B, J, S and K, are locked in a room when the lights go out. When the lights come on, K is dead, stabbed with a knife. Now this is not suicide because the person K was stabbed at back. No one entered the room. Assume only one killer is there. Then what is going to be power set? First of all, we'll create the set of all the hypotheses. So that is B, J, and S. They are the three culprits, or let us say, who one of them has committed the crime. So what is going to be power set of theta? Power set of theta will contain all possible subsets of theta. So initially it is null, then B alone, then J alone, S alone, then the combinations of them means BJ, BS, JS and BJS. So this is called power set, all possible subsets along. Now let us say we had a detective and this detective calculated probability for each and every subset that we have listed here for being criminal. So that evidence which detective has calculated is nothing but the probability for that subset to be culprit, and that is nothing but mass function. Are you getting this? So mass function is nothing but our belief in a particular subset. So let us say these values are given. If there is this question is asked in paper, then such table will be given. Okay. So let us say no one is guilty. It has the mass function value 0. What is meaning of that? That any one of them is certainly guilty. Either B is guilty or J is guilty or S is guilty. No one is guilty is not possible. Let us say B is guilty has the probability 0.1, J is guilty has 0.2 and so on. These are the values which have been calculated by the detective. Now using these values, how we can find out who is the culprit? The belief, so what we have to do from the mass function, we have to calculate three values: belief, disbelief and plausibility. So how to calculate belief, how to calculate plausibility and how to calculate disbelief? It's very simple. So we'll first make such a table where we have a means event, where we are going to list all the subsets which we have listed in power set, and then all the mass function values. See, this example has been asked many times. Understand the calculation properly, which is very simple. So this is the data which is given to us. Now how to calculate belief? So the belief in an element A of the power set is sum of all the masses of element which are the subset of A. Let us see with examples, so it will be more clear. Suppose A contains Q1, Q2, Q3. So A is the entire set. If you have to calculate M of A, sorry, belief in A, then it is sum of all the masses of elements which are subset of A. So how many subsets this A is going to have? Q1, Q2, Q3, then Q1, Q2, Q2, Q3, Q1, Q3, and Q1, Q2, Q3. So these many subsets it will have. So mass function applied to every member and then its addition. So mass function in Q1, MQ2, MQ3. Then MQ1, Q2, MQ1, Q3, MQ2, Q3 plus MQ1, Q2, Q3. Are you getting this? So basically, belief is nothing but the addition of mass function for all the subsets of the given set. So if you have to calculate belief, make over here extra row where we are going to list belief in A. So how we are going to calculate belief in A? Let us say what is going to be belief in B. If B is your set, how many subsets B have? A single, B itself. So no addition is required. The mass function itself is the belief. So the value of mass function will be 0.1, then belief is also 0.1. So for individual members B, J and S, belief and mass function value, they are going to be same. So that we have copied as it is. Are you getting why? Because if you consider standalone J, how many subset it has? Itself, no other subset is there. So there is no addition required and the same mass function is going to be belief also. But talk about BJ. How many subset it has? B alone, J alone and BJ together. So there are three values that to be summed. So this 0.1 plus 0.2 and plus 0.1, that is going to be answer. So belief of BJ is M of MB plus MJ plus MB of J. So 0.1 plus 0.2, 0.3 and plus 0.1, 0.4, that has been written over here. Similarly, B of S is 0.1 plus 0.1 plus 0.1, so 0.3. Belief in JS, so that is summation of B, that is 0.1, S, that is 0.1, so it is 0.2, and then JS, so 0.3, so it is going to be 0.6. So similarly, we can calculate the values over here for entire. So what we have calculated, belief in A as per this calculation simply, right? So this is what we had, and from that this is what we have calculated. Now we are going to calculate plausibility after this. The plausibility of an element A, PL of A, is the sum of all masses of the sets that intersects with A. See, this is very tricky. This is not same as belief. What was belief? If I have BJ, then all the subsets of this set, their mass function summation is belief. But if I talk about plausibility, then sum of masses of all the sets that intersects with set A. What is meaning of intersects with set A? Let us take examples so it will be more clear. BJ. Now see, it is not about all the subset, but all the sets which intersects with BJ. So which all sets are intersecting with BJ? B itself alone, J itself alone, BJ also. Then all the sets which has only B, all the sets which have only J also. So apart from BJ, BS will be included, then JS will also be included, and BJS will also be included. Are you getting this? So what is meaning of all the sets which intersects with our set? Alone B, if it is also there in the set, consider it. Alone J, that is also there, consider it. And they are together, then also consider it. So ultimately it is going to be summation of all of them. So what you are going to get over here is 0.9 in our case. So let us say what is going to be plausibility for B if you have to calculate. So first of all, B itself, so 0.1. Then B is present in all other which sets? Here. So 0.1 plus 0.1 is 0.2. Then here. So 0.2 plus 0.1 means 0.3. And again here. So 0.3 plus 0.1, that is 0.4. So we have written here 0.4. Are you getting this? Once again, suppose for S you have to calculate, then find out all the sets where S is present. So this is the first occurrence. So 0.1 plus BS means 0.1. So it is 0.2. JS, so 0.5. And this is 0.6. So here we have 0.6. Are you getting this? Intersection means where any of the member is present, all those sets are considered as intersection. So we have written all plausibility value just by this equation simply. Now we have to calculate disbelief. Now the equation of disbelief is very simple. Plausibility for any hypothesis A is 1 minus disbelief in A. So if you know plausibility, then how disbelief is going to be calculated? Disbelief in A is 1 minus plausibility. Simple. So if we have already calculated plausibility, so disbelief is just 1 minus 0.4, so 0.6, 1 minus 0.7, so 0.3. So you have to calculate one additional row for disbelief. So see, 1 minus 0.4 is 0.6, 1 minus 0.7 is 0.3, 1 minus 0.6 over here is 0.4, 1 minus 0.9 is 0.1, and so on. So disbelief can be directly calculated as 1 minus plausibility. Okay. Now, what we are interested in over here, we are interested in interval of belief and plausibility. So what it indicates? Okay. So for let us say event BS, the interval says 0.1 and 0.8. So 0.1 is the minimum probability for the evidence to support the hypothesis, and 0.8 is the maximum probability for evidence to support the hypothesis. So if this interval is larger, we are not certain about this particular event. Smaller is the interval, much we are believing in that particular hypothesis. So see B 0.1, 0.4. So this is a smaller interval. 0.2, 0.7 a bit larger. 0.1, 0.6 a bit larger. So B is, there is a higher probability that B is criminal because the belief, sorry, we have to say belief and plausibility interval, not the mass. So 0.1 and 0.4, the difference is 0.3 only. So this is the largest, smallest the difference, and hence we believe that B is possibly criminal. So if we talk about BJ, the interval is larger, interval is larger, interval is smaller over here, larger over here. So small, when we say 0.1, see, belief and plausibility both are 0.1. The meaning is we are certain about any one of them is criminal. So from this difference, what we can say, the lowest difference of belief and plausibility is there in this particular hypothesis, and hence we can say B is criminal. The probability in A falls somewhere between belief and plausibility. Belief of A represents the evidence we have for A directly. So probability A cannot be less than this value. Plausibility represents the maximum share of the evidence we could possibly have. If for all sets that intersects with A, the part that intersects is actually valid. So plausibility of A is the maximum possible value of probability A. So belief is the minimum value, plausibility is maximum value, and if the for whatever hypothesis the interval of belief plausibility is smallest, that hypothesis is said to be truth, in which we have maximum confidence. Belief interval allowed Dempster-Shafer theory to reason about the degree of certainty or certainty of our beliefs. Smaller difference between belief and plausibility shows that we are certain about this belief. A larger difference shows that we are uncertain about our belief. However, even with the zero interval, this does not mean we know which conclusion is right, just how probable it is. So that is all about. So this has been asked many a times in GTU question paper as an example. So you will be given only the mass function values. What you have to do is You have to calculate belief, disbelief, and plausibility, and then you have to make the conclusion based on the lowest belief plausibility interval you have. So calculation is very simple. If you have any query or doubt, you may raise your query or doubt by whatever mode you are comfortable with. The last topic which we are going to discuss in statistical reasoning is fuzzy logic. This topic will be discussed in detail in other portion by the other faculty. I'm just going to give the glimpse of this topic. What is fuzzy logic? Fuzzy logic is a method of reasoning that resembles human reasoning. This approach is similar to how humans perform decision making, and it involves all intermediate possibilities between yes and no. So if I ask you a question, is it cold? You may answer yes or you may answer no. So that is called Boolean answer, true or false answer. But mostly how human answer, yes, it is very cold, it is average cold, it is little cold, it is very little cold, it is very 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 much cold. So the adjectives which we use are providing the participation of the event which will different. So if I say very less, I can say it is 0.1. If I say little, it is 0.25. Very much 0.9. So the different participation level of the event can be shown by the values, and that is called the membership value. So that is how fuzzy logic works. Instead of applying 1 or 0 value, every event possibility has some membership value which ranges from 0 to 1. Characteristics of fuzzy logic: flexible and easy to implement machine learning technique, helps you to mimic the logic of human thought. Logic may have two values which represent two possible solutions. Highly suitable method for uncertain or approximate reasoning. Fuzzy logic views inference as a process of propagating elastic constraints. Fuzzy logic allows you to build non-linear functions of arbitrary complexity. Fuzzy logic should be built with the complete guidance of experts. Now, what is the difference between probability and fuzzy logic? Probability says there is 90% chance that Tom is old, where fuzzy logic says Tom's degree of membership within set of old people is 0.90. So that is calling about membership value. Probability is a mathematical model of ignorance. Fuzzy logic takes truth degrees as a mathematical basis on the model of the vagueness phenomena. So that's all that we had to discuss today. More will be discussing ahead